Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So as media reports do currently explain, obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is obviously discussing the club's transfer plans for this summer of course as well, because I do keep saying that investment is needed into Manchester United of course, and obviously we've got a board that can invest. Vu Solskjaer wants to recommend to come to Manchester United in the summer, and I think potentially he's told the board already that I think he wants around 4 signings this summer. There's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I think he's identified the areas where he thinks Manchester United do need to strengthen up as well. I think he's focused on more attacking additions to the squad, to be quite honest with you, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So I think now he knows what players he wants out of the club this summer, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. It's still not officially confirmed that he's Manchester United manager fully yet, but I think he's still on the brink of getting the Manchester United job on a full-time basis, based on his fantastic progression so far, since he's come to the club, because we've had positive results, the performances have been good, been getting the best out of the players and all that as well. And I think Solskjaer's a good tactician, and I think he's following Alex Ferguson's philosophy and all that. He's restored Alex Ferguson's spirit, to the club as well. And he's got this team playing with tenacity and spirit as well, which is very, very good. And I think the majority of the players, are really, really happy, playing under him as well. We know the club are still possibly, looking at Mauricio Pochettino. Ed Woodward still may want Pochettino to come to Manchester United, and maybe Manchester United is still looking at the possibility of Pochettino, because for a long, long time, he actually has been the favourite, to come to Manchester United and all that as well. But we do know Solskjaer's going to be a much cheaper alternative. It'll only cost us around £7-8 million, to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job on a full-time basis, because obviously at the moment we've paid £1.8 million to get him on a temporary basis. But the most essential thing is now, obviously Manchester United are out of the FA Cup. We want to succeed in the Champions League and win the Champions League so we can get into Champions League for next season as well. Obviously we'll invest a lot more money, or if we don't win the Champions League, try and finish in the top 4 and get Champions League for next season as well, because there's quite a few teams, don't forget, going for that top 4, because we do want to have a competitive summer transfer window as well. But Solskjaer does know he's got a few targets in mind, who he does want to bring to Manchester United this summer. But what reports are currently mentioning, guys, reportedly as well, reportedly Solskjaer, I think he knows what players he wants to sell this summer, reportedly as well. So reports do say that Solskjaer has obviously been in regular negotiations, with Ed Woodward and all that. Obviously, making plans for this summer, discussing what players, should come in and what players, should go out and all that. So reportedly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has basically told Ed Woodward, the 3 players that he wants out of Manchester United this summer. And reportedly, Solskjaer has told Ed Woodward that he wants Valencia out, he wants Marcus Rojo out, and he wants Alexis Sanchez out. So these are the players Solskjaer wants to get rid of at Manchester United this summer as well, because we know Valencia's on his way out anywhere, because obviously he's coming to an end of his contract this summer, so I presume he'll leave on a free transfer with Antonio Valencia. Of course, we opted against that decision, to give him that new 1-year contract term extension as well. But this is 10th season now at Manchester United, and overall he's made over 300 odd appearances in all competitions as Antonio Valencia of course as well. But at the moment he has currently got a calf injury, so he has been here since the Alex Ferguson era. Over the years he has been an essential player, and he has grown and developed and flourished, Antonio Valencia. But initially he's lost his place in the team now, and he's age 33 now. I think Arsenal and West Ham have expressed an interest in Antonio Valencia as well. So we do know that he's on his way out of the club, and I do think we do need someone on that right hand side, and we need someone young, a young ambitious player on that right hand side, to be quite honest with you. But Solskjaer's got a few targets in mind anyway. In relation to Ashley Young, I think he'll probably leave when his 1-year contract extension expires, because by the time that expires he'll be nearly 35 years of age, Ashley Young of course as well. And he's been here good 7-8 seasons now at Manchester United of course, and he has been essential over the years as Ashley Young. But we all know now he's past it, as Ashley Young, to be quite honest, because he's been seen in recent games he has been playing. Obviously, he's been getting exploited far too easily, and we do know he's our first choice right back. Initially, he actually is a winger, he's Ashley Young, but obviously most recently, we operate him as a right back. Now and again, we've rotated him to the left-hand side, but, usually we play him at right back, of course, as well. But yeah, we definitely need someone on that right-hand side. Marcus Rojo, of course, he needs to go this summer anyway, because Marcus Rojo, because he's going to find it hard to get into the team now anyway. Obviously, he suffered a string of injuries as a Manchester United player, so he has enjoyed a very, very difficult time as a Manchester United player, as Marcus Rojo, of course. He has been here quite a few years now. When he first came, he was playing more, he was getting a lot more regularly, in the team as Marcus Rojo. But, now, he's just enjoyed a very, very difficult time indeed, and, a string of injuries, have affected his career in Manchester United. Of course, he's good there as a backup option, Rojo, because he's versatile and all that. But Solskjaer, I think, wants to get rid of him this summer as well. So to Alexis Sanchez, he's a player that's definitely on his way out of Manchester United, of course, as well. Sanchez has enjoyed a very, very difficult time. He's been here just over a year, of course, as well. But when he has been given the opportunity, which hasn't been often, because obviously, when we've had players, when we haven't had all these string of injuries, mainly Martial's been the first choice on the left-hand side, because obviously he's a lot younger in his generation, provides a lot more pace, and his performances overall have been fantastic, Anthony Martial's. But when Sanchez has been given the opportunities, he's been very, very, he's been very, very, he's been very, very poor indeed. He's been very, very inconsistent as Sanchez as well. And he's suffered quite a few string of injuries, since he's come to Manchester United. He must have suffered 3 injuries. He's now out with a knee injury. Of course, it didn't initially say he was going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. Was Alexis Sanchez as well, but I think he'll end up losing that number 7. To be quite honest with you, he's on the decline. He's 30 years of age now, so he has lost that at least that yard of pace now with Sanchez anyway, and just hasn't lived up to expectation levels at Manchester United. I just don't think he's fitted under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer system, to quite honest with you. We do know it's going to be hard to find a buy for Sanchez this summer, considering his substantial wages he's on, which is on over £500,000 a week, of course, as well. Obviously, the highest paid player in the Premier League, of course, Sanchez. So initially, it's going to be hard to find a buy unless he takes a wage cut, or Man United consider sanctioning him out on loan this summer as well. But he's enjoyed a difficult time at Manchester United. He's only been here just over a year. I think he's been here 14 months now at Manchester United, Sanchez. But when he has been playing, it just shows how poor most of the team's been when he's been playing. So it just shows how it emphasises how ineffective Alexis Sanchez has been, when he has been playing, of course, as well. But Solskjaer has basically said to Ed Woodward, he's told Ed Wood, the 3 players he wants sold this summer. This is what Solskjaer said, and he's indicated that he wants Valencia, Rojo, and Sanchez. He wants he wants Ed Woodward, to get rid of them. So he's told Ed Woodward he wants to get rid of Sanchez, Rojo, and Valencia. So this is basically what he's told, Ed Woodward in the process, as well as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And of course, I think Darmian's on his way out of the club as well, to Cardiff. So he didn't get mentioned. Solskjaer didn't mention Matty or Darmian, but I still think Darmian, could actually, leave this summer as well. Again, enjoyed a very, very difficult time as a Manchester United player. Of course, we got him, was it back in 2015, if I can remember rightly, we got him from Torino, for just over £12 million, of course, as well. And obviously, I think he's still injured at the moment, is Matty or Darmian, but obviously he's going to find it hard, to get back in the team, Matty or Darmian. So I think he's another player, that's likely to leave Manchester United this summer as well. So we do, we definitely do expect departure in the summer, and obviously, we're going to have to find current replacements and all that. But reportedly, the club are obviously, still looking to hire a director of football to come in as well. I think we want to hire a director of football to come in, before we do commit to signings this summer as well. But, we've done very, very well under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, considering, the string of injuries Manchester United have had, considering that we didn't invest in the January transfer window, and I've wanted us to invest in the January transfer window, because you just know that we are still lacking in areas, that investment is needed. Of course, we know this summer as well that other teams are going to invest, so it is very, very essential that Manchester United, invest in the summer. Obviously, we need to get the right players in as well, and, we are targeting quite a few players, I think, we've got to look at a lot of young players who've still got a lot of years ahead of them, to graduate to that higher level. Of course, we don't want to get players, that are aging up and stuff like that, to kind of see overage players maybe 29, 30 and stuff like that. I don't think that's the players, they're the players we'd want to get in the summer. Want to get players that are 24, 25 or 18, 19, something like that, maybe even 26, 27, but no one near the age of 30, 29, 30 or 31 and all that. They're the players, we don't want Manchester United, to go in for as well. But we do know, as reports have been coming out as well in relation to Paul Pogba, guys, as I've been giving you a regular update on Paul Pogba. Obviously, I think he wants to remain loyal to Manchester United. He does feel really, really happy as a Manchester United player, does Paul Pogba, to be quite honest with you. Because obviously, when Jose Mourinho was here, obviously, Paul Pogba had a bad relationship with him. When Jose Mourinho was here, he wasn't getting the signings he wanted. Jose Mourinho, he was having disputes with the players with Mourinho. He was having disputes with the board and all that as well. So it just, it just wasn't good. But, obviously, the team wasn't playing under Mourinho. Paul Pogba wasn't playing under Mourinho. But since Solskjaer's come in, we have seen the best of Paul Pogba in this 3-month period, of course, as well. And we do know, there's been rumours going on. Pogba came out, I think, in the press yesterday, and he actually was saying that, he dreams about, playing with Zinedine Zidane at Real Madrid and all that. He dreams about it, but he said he still remains happy at Manchester United. Of course, he doesn't know what the future holds, and all this, but I think for the time being, he's happy at Manchester United. United, of course, as well as Paul Pogba. But he did class Real Madrid as a dream club, but he insists he's happy with Manchester United because when Paul Pogba, is playing in this kind of vein, he's a player that can be on at least 14, 15 goals a season. When he's playing in this kind of vein, I think Paul Pogba's better. When he's getting, when he's playing in more of an attacking role in the number 10 position. When he's getting that freedom to express himself, I think he plays better in that role. To be quite honest, and he does provide good service to the front men. He plays them delicate passes, and he's been in great form. He's been scoring, he's been providing as Paul Pogba, and he's one of the best midfielders in world football. When he's playing in this kind of vein, is Paul Pogba as well. So it's just amazing how the whole team's form's been rejuvenated. It's just amazing how Paul Pogba's been rejuvenated, and Paul Pogba's been transformed. Paul Pogba's been absolutely transformed. Since Ole Gunnar Solsjaker has come in. But obviously, Zinedine Zidane just been reappointed Real Madrid manager, and obviously reportedly he's going to get around £300 million to spend this summer. Zinedine Zidane, Florentino Perez is giving him this as well, and he's identified quite a few targets, says Zinedine Zidane. And I think Zinedine Zidane actually came at that press and actually, what did he say? He suggested out to Real Madrid, to try and go sign Pogba this summer. And he actually said to Real Madrid, to try and open, negotiations with Paul Pogba's representative, obviously, which is Raiola, of course, as well. But I think Paul Pogba's very, very happy at Manchester United, of course, as well. He's still in the contract here till 2021, don't forget. So hopefully somewhere along the line, want to start having contract negotiations of getting Paul Pogba a new contract at Manchester United, of course, as well. But he is still in the contract here till 2021, don't forget, as well. So hopefully his agent and the board can have negotiations, regarding getting Paul Pogba a new contract at Manchester United as well. But he attracted quite a few interest from a few other teams, when obviously Mourinho was here. I think if Mourinho had still been in now, Paul Pogba would have been well gone. He would have departed because at the time Barcelona were interested. There were talks about him going back to Juventus as well. Where he had 4 fantastic years, scored a lot of goals. Did very, very well. Won trophies and all that. With Juventus as well. And obviously he's our most expensive signing. We paid £89 million for him. This is third season at Manchester United, of course, as well. We paid £89 million, and yeah, we're getting the best out of Paul Pogba now, as well. But he has been speaking about Real Madrid and all this, and he dreams about, he admits playing for Zinedine Zidane at Real Madrid, would be a dream for him and all this. But I think, in that aspect, he's praised Zinedine Zidane and Real Madrid, but I think he's just saying, he's insisting that he's happy at Manchester United, with Solskjaer and all that. He feels settled in as a Manchester United player, of course, as well. So, this is what Paul Pogba has mentioned in the media. Didn't read the whole article to, explain everything that was said, but I just mainly, read the main headline of what we said as well. But as we all know, that transfer rumours are currently going on in the press, as we all currently know, guys, as I've been giving you a current update on as well. And obviously, Jadon Sancho, obviously, as I do keep updating you, because it's obviously big news going on. There's been a narrative going on about, for the past 3 or 4 weeks, or something like that as well. That he's, Jadon Sancho. Sorry, guys, but we know that obviously, Jadon Sancho, as I do. He's been mentioned in the last 3 or 4 weeks now, as I said, Manchester United have been heavily linked, with Jadon Sancho. Sancho is to their team, of course, as well. But in my opinion, guys, if Manchester United were prepared to pay up to the £100 million for Jadon Sancho this summer, this would actually, convince Borussia Dortmund, to offload him, of course, as well. Reports are saying that they're actually demanding that they want around £100 million for Jadon Sancho, reportedly. So maybe even £80 million in the process, may not even be enough, to convince, Borussia Dortmund to sanction him off. But obviously we know he's a very, very good player. He's only 18 years of age, and they're the type of players Manchester United should be targeting, because he's only 18 years of age, Jadon Sancho. He's done really, really well at Dortmund. He's proven himself fantastically well in Germany with Dortmund. I think this is his second season, or is it his third season, with Borussia Dortmund and all this as well, Jadon Sancho. He has got a contract with Borussia Dortmund till 2022, don't forget as well. But he did say Manchester United, were preparing to pay up to the £100 million for him. So this would mean it'd make him our most expensive signing. Obviously the most expensive English footballer ever, if this was to process, in the summer, of course, as well. And financially, Borussia Dortmund would make a huge, huge profit on the player in terms of financial situation, because obviously they only paid £7-8 million for him, don't forget, from Manchester City. So they'd make a huge, huge profit on the player, of course, as well. But obviously, he did serve a couple of years with Man City. He never broke into the first team with City. So that in that aspect, he's had experience of playing in English football, but he never broke into the first team, of course, with City as well. But at that period, when he was leaving Man City, Manchester United, wanted to capture Jadon Sancho then, but obviously we didn't get him. him. He went to Borussia Dortmund, of course, as well. And he actually began his youth career with Watford as well, did Jadon Sancho, actually, for a lot of years as well. But Manchester United have been heavily linked with him, of course, as well. I think he did mention that City inserted a buyback clause in his current contract, if I'm correct. And it did reportedly say a while back that reportedly City would receive around 15% of the transfer fee if we were to come to an agreement to get Jadon Sancho this summer as well. But he has been heavily linked to a move away from Dortmund, of course. He only broke into the England first team last year, of course, but his ratio is very, very good. Shows that ability to attack. He plays balls, he scores goals, and I think Jadon Sancho is the solution to our problems, to be quite honest, because I think he'd complement our attacking line very, very well. Don't forget, Rashford's only 21, he's English, of course, as well. Rashford's English, of course, as well. And so is too is Jadon Sancho, and he only broke into the England first team last year as well. And I think he'd be very, very good for our team, if he was to come in, Jadon Sancho and all that as well. But been a lot of talks, going on about that as well. Other rumours have been updating you, and we know that Manchester United have still been keeping tracks on Joe Felix, as I have been keeping you an update on that as well. The Benfica youngster, only 19 years of age as well. I don't think he's been a priority, but Manchester United have showed an interest in him. I think it also mentioned that Chelsea have also, showed an interest in him as well. Joe Felix, only 19 years of age. He actually only broke into the Benfica first team last year, but since he's broke into the first team, reportedly his performances have been impressive indeed. Joe Felix as well. He has got a buyout clause, I think, of around £105 million as Joe Felix. Reports came out a week or so ago that Manchester United, have held negotiations, with Benfica over the possibility of Joe Felix as well. But Man United have instructed scouts, to keep a close eye out on the player. And, reportedly he did say before that Man United scouts, have been watching him on a regular basis because reportedly his performances have been very, very good. And he is very, very young, is Joe Felix as well. So he's a winger mainly, but he can play in other positions as well. But yeah, he's another player Manchester United have actually, expressed an interest in him as well. He's that Joe Felix, of course, as well. But as I've been updating you regularly, we have had some positive news in terms of, the likes of the transfer rumours and all that. We have, according to the media, what the media's explained, we've had some positive news in relation to Antoine Griezmann, as I've been giving you an update on that as well. Because reports have been coming out from Spain, saying that reportedly Manchester United are favourites to land Griezmann this summer. Obviously, a couple of years back, as I do keep mentioning, we was on the verge of getting Griezmann. At that moment in time, obviously we're planning for investment at that moment in time, and obviously we wanted to get a number 7 in, because obviously at that moment in time we nearly got Griezmann. Obviously, number 7 was vacant, and obviously, it was looking like he was going to fulfill that number 7 role at Manchester United at the time. But obviously, due to Atletico Madrid's transfer ban, obviously Atletico Madrid couldn't find a replacement. So obviously this stopped Griezmann joining Manchester United. If it wouldn't have been for that transfer ban, I think Griezmann would have definitely come to Manchester United, of course, as well. But as I did currently say, absolutely prolific goal scorer, and it would be good for him to experience the Premier League, of course, because obviously he spent the entirety of his playing career in Spain as well. I think this is his 5th season now of Atletico Madrid, of course. Obviously he began his career with Real Sociedad as well, did Antoine Griezmann. But obviously he's probably becoming increasingly frustrated now, with time in Spain, to be quite honest, because he may want a new challenge now, because he's been at Atletico Madrid a number of years. He was at Real Sociedad, a number of years as well. But obviously he's a player that probably wants to be playing at the highest level. Obviously, wants to be challenging for silverware as well. And obviously he hasn't really, wants to be challenging for silverware, wants to be, winning silverware, of course, as well, especially if a player of his calibre as well. And he hasn't really experienced them at Atletico Madrid. He's won a couple of trophies, he won the Europa League and he's won the Super Cup, with Atletico Madrid and all that. But if he wants to try and come to the Premier League, to experience the Premier League, he may, at Manchester United, and the way things have been going under Solsjaker, we can get the right signs in the summer, he could maybe start winning trophies as a Manchester United player, Griezmann, or at least, being up there challenging as well. But as reports do currently say, according to the media, from Spain and all that, reports are saying that Manchester United are reportedly the favourites to sign Griezmann, reportedly. It has said a few other teams are interested in him as well. It did say Bayern Munich and PSG have also been interested in Griezmann as well. But reports have been coming out from Spain because obviously Griezmann has basically made it clear that he wants to leave Atletico Madrid this summer, of course, as well. Because actually last summer he turned down the chance, to join Barcelona. So it was looking likely he was going to go to Barcelona last summer. I think now Barcelona have actually, cooled their interest in Griezmann as well. So actually he remained loyal to Atletico Madrid last season when he actually could have joined Barcelona, last summer as well. But he remained loyal to Atletico Madrid. He signed a new contract with Atletico Madrid. So now he's under contract with Atletico Madrid till 2023 is Griezmann as well. But obviously it's going to be likely he's going to be leaving now this summer anyway, because some media outlets have mentioned that reportedly his release clause will reduce by almost 70 million or 70 million or whatever it said. I think his release clause at the moment is an initial 171 million pounds. Is Griezmann's as well, but reportedly it does reduce by almost 70 million in the summer as well. So this means his release clause will probably his release clause in the summer will probably be about 100 million or 101 million or something like that as well. So obviously he's got more chance of leaving Atletico Madrid this summer as well. Antoine Griezmann, but obviously he's got a good friendship with Paul Pogba, because obviously they're both French as well. Obviously Martial's also to French as well. And I think he'd link up in our team very, very well, and he'd be a great addition. He'd guarantee us probably at least 20-25 goals a season, with Griezmann as well. But he's really been a priority. But his name's been mentioned in the last couple of days, saying that Manchester United are reportedly the favourites to get him. This is coming out from reports in Spain as well. And obviously when a couple of years back, when we was on the verge of getting him, he actually admitted that he wanted to come to Manchester United of course as well. So we'll see what happens in the process of that, but that's been going on in the past couple of days in the press as well. Obviously, we know that talks have been going out about, Icardi as well, that Inter Milan striker, as I have been updating you on. He hasn't been a priority for Manchester United, but reportedly he has been a potential Manchester United target. Reportedly now, Inter Milan are prepared to cash in for Icardi this summer now, reportedly as well, because reportedly, he's just recently lost the captain's armband. I think Inter Milan are increasingly, becoming frustrated with Icardi as well, reportedly. And Icardi's a very, very good player, of course, as well. I think the Inter Milan demanding that they want around £68 million for Icardi, reportedly as well. But I do really, really like Icardi, to be quite honest with you. He's been at Inter Milan a number of years now. This is his sixth season, of course, over Inter Milan's as well, is Icardi. And I think he scored like over 100 odd goals, all in all. I think, majority of his goals has obviously, become at Inter Milan, of course, as well. I think his actual release clause in his Inter Milan contract is around £100 million as well, is Icardi, to be quite honest with you. He's Inter Milan's ninth highest top goal scorer of all time as well, and he's a very, very good player. And he's only 26 years of age. He's got a lot of years ahead of him. It would be good for him to experience the Premier League, but he's only 26 years of age. He's just recently turned 26 actually as Icardi, but he's good box to box. He scores loads of goals. He's a good, efficient finisher. He's great in the attacking third of the pitch as well. He's one of the biggest names in Italian football as well. Is Icardi. So I think Inter Milan are prepared to cash in for Icardi this summer as well. But there has been talks about that going on as well, and. We still know that the rumours have been going on about Gareth Bale, as we all know as well. As I do keep mentioning to you guys, I don't want Gareth Bale at Manchester United, of course, as well. And this is the player, we should not be targeting, to Crowns. But we know the rumours have been going on for a lot of years. If you'd have asked me maybe a year, 2, 3 years ago if Man U should sign Bale, I'd have probably turned around and snapped your hand off, and I'd have probably said yeah, because obviously in that aspect he was younger then. We still know obviously he's injury prone. He's got a record of injuries. He's sustained so many injuries, especially as a Real Madrid player, as Gareth Bale as well. And I think if he had the chance to come to the Premier League or come to Manchester United, he probably would, Gareth Bale, to be quite honest, because he was a really, really good player in the Premier League, when he had that 6 years with Tottenham, to be quite honest with you. He obviously began his career with Southampton as well, when he was a youngster. But, Bale he'll cost quite a bit of money as well. I don't think, as I do keep saying, I don't think Real Madrid, will recoup the initial 86 million pounds they paid for him from Tottenham back in 2013. But I still think, Real Madrid could still get 55 or 60 million pounds, for Gareth Bale, to be quite honest with you. And I think his wages are around, £650,000 a week or something like that. So I think he's actually the highest paid player in actual world football, is Gareth Bale, to be quite honest with you as well. But I wouldn't want him at Manchester United anywhere. He's too old now. He's nearly 30 years of age. He's on the decline. He's injury prone, and all that as well. Solsjaker hasn't really said much, regarding, with him being linked with a move to Old Trafford and all this, because we know the rumours have been going on for a lot of years of Bale coming to Manchester United, but it could still happen. You never know. Solskjaer may not want him, but Ed Woodward may want to recommend Bale to come in. I think that at least 80% of Manchester United fans wouldn't want Bale to come now, considering that he's aging up and he's got a record of injuries, even though his ratio's still very, very good. He did, and obviously all the silverware he has won has obviously become as a Real Madrid player, of lost patience with Gareth Bale, of course, as well. So we do know of course, there's been rumours going on about that as well. And we do know another player, that Manchester United are keen on signing, but we still know that the rumours are going on, in relation, to Philippe Coutinho as well from Barcelona. Because obviously, he's injured, wait there. We know that he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time at Barcelona as Philippe Coutinho. And again, he's only been at Barcelona, just over a year, of course, because obviously Barcelona signed him in January of last year, of course. I think he's been at Barcelona, 13, 14 months now or something like that. And he hasn't really fitted he hasn't really fitted into Barcelona's team, to be quite honest with you. And obviously, he's the third most expensive right there. Obviously, as we all know, he's the third most expensive player. He's Coutinho in world football. Behind Mbappe, behind Neymar. Sorry guys about that. I mean, it's the internet's going down a lot and it's really annoying me. But I was saying in Coutinho, yeah. So he spoke to some Manchester United players, regarding the move to Old Trafford this summer. Reportedly, it would cost him the excess of around £100 million. So anyway, if Barcelona want to sell him this summer, of course, Barcelona wouldn't recoup the initial, was it, £142 million, they paid for him from Liverpool. And of course, Coutinho's failed to replicate that form he did at Liverpool. He hasn't lived up to expectation levels at Barcelona, because to be fair, he did have 5 great years there with Liverpool and all that, did Philippe Coutinho, but he just hasn't done it at Barcelona, to be quite honest. And I think he has got a long contract with Barcelona, to be quite honest with you, as well. But there was a narrative going about back in January, that actually, Manchester United, were at, there was rumours of him, being linked to a move to Old Trafford, and all this. He's initially an attacking midfielder mainly, but he can actually operate as a winger as well. But I think Solskjaer has identified, that he would like to bring an attacking midfielder to Manchester United this summer, of course. Well, Coutinho's only 26, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him, to quite honest with you. But I don't think he's not one of Man United's priorities, and I don't think we're keen on signing him in anywhere, even though there has been, rumours going on about it as well. And we do know that's been mentioned in the last couple of days, as I've been giving you an update as well on Kostas Manolas as well, the Roma centre-back, of course, as well. 27 years of age, Greek, as we all know. Before actually, Manchester United, were actually linked with Kostas Manolas, as we all currently know. I think, was it last year sometime, there were rumours going on about it, that Manchester United, were interested in Kostas Manolas. But now reports are saying that Arsenal are interested in him as well. And reports do say, according to reports from Italy, from the Italian press, reportedly saying that Man United or Arsenal could land Kostas Manolas this summer for a cut price fee, reportedly, if Roma fail to qualify for the Champions League next season, of course, as well. So if they fail to get top 4 this season, it's likely he will leave this summer, Kostas Manolas as well. His release clause is around £31 million, so reportedly, you'd get him for the bargain fee, of course, as well. I think from Roma's perspective, they want to try and remove his release clause so they can try and invest a bit more money on Kostas Manolas as well, because initially they paid I think they paid around 15 million, or was it 15 million euros for him from Olympiacos, of course, as well. But he's a centre-back, of course. He's 27. He is Greek, of course, as well. But I think you will be leaving if Roma don't get top 4 this season. Obviously, if they don't get Champions League for next season as well. Manchester United definitely need a centre-back. We need to address our defensive deficiencies. Arsenal need to address their defensive deficiencies as well. So we definitely need a defender, of course, well. Someone who can, partner Lindelof, and, I don't really know much about this Kostas Manolas, to be quite honest with you as well. I know he's been at Roma since 2014. This is his 5th season now with Roma, of course. I think he's made about 200 appearances in all competitions as well. He's obviously an ex-Olympiacos player. He spent a couple of seasons, he's an ex-Athens player as well. He's also tall as well. He's Kostas Manolas as well. But I think Manchester United have expressed an interest. He's not a priority, I don't think, a main priority, but we've expressed an interest in him as well, because he could be available, for a reasonable fee this summer. His release clause is £31 million in his Roma contract as well. So his name has also been mentioned, but I don't think it's on the same levels as the likes of Koulibaly or the Rafael Varanes or the Diego Godins and all that, or the Sergio Ramoses. He's nowhere near on the same calibre as them players. Is this Kostas Manolas? But his name has been mentioned as well, and he's only 27, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. To be quite honest with you, as well. So there has been reports going on about that. But as I did say, definitely, Solskjaer the right man for Manchester United, as I do keep saying. He knows everything about the club, and that's the difference between Solskjaer and Pochettino. Pochettino doesn't know Manchester United inside out, obviously doesn't know anything about the club. Solskjaer knows the club inside out, obviously from, being a great player for 11 years under Fergie, winning trophies, scoring loads and loads of goals, having that great iconic moment, in 1999 as a player as well. And now as a manager, he's done really, really well. He's made history in the Premier League as well now as manager. He's one of his most iconic moments as manager, in the Champions League as well, which was really, really good. So he's done really, really well, and I think everyone's praised him, for what he's done. I think the players still believe it and are convinced, that he'll land the job on a full-time basis. I think Paul Pogba himself is backing him that he'll get the job on a full-time basis. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well, despite, the back-to-back defeats, we've suffered. It doesn't really matter because every team, goes on a bad spell. You can't, win every game, and it's just how football goes, to quite but it is definitely essential that we get back to winning ways after this international break. As I do keep saying, as I've said on my previous videos, if we go winless after the international break in those next 2-3 games, then questions will be asked, and then maybe having a different conversation, guys. To be quite honest here as well. But Solskjaer's totally blamed in this scenario. He's done a really, really good job, considering he hasn't got a great managerial pedigree at the moment as well. He hasn't got great managerial experience, but I think Solskjaer can elevate us forward. To quite honest here, I'm really, really confident indeed. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to update you on, that obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is now planning, for what's going to happen this summer. He's obviously, he's obviously, planning, what players to bring in, and what players, to sell and all that. And he's been discussing with this, obviously with the Manchester United board and Ed Woodward and all that as well. So basically, Solskjaer has told Ed Woodward basically, to get rid of Valencia, Rojo, and Sanchez as well in the process. So basically, it came out today that Solskjaer has basically he's basically told Ed Woodward, the 3 players he wants sold this summer as well. And obviously, said it's obviously Valencia, Rojo, and Sanchez as well in the process. But maybe other players, could still leave as well, as I said. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribe to my channel.